Allah is my heart's speech, your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest, permit me to pass the ultimate test.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على نبيه ومصطفى سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وبعد. Dear viewers everywhere, welcome to a new edition of your program Ask Huda. Our phone numbers beginning with the area code are 002023855, 248 or 249, and the email addresses are ask@huda.tv and alternatively gardens@huda.tv. Without any further ado, already have Sister Abdullah from the KSA on the line. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Abdullah.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah, Sheikh. May Allah bless you for the work people are doing.
Ameen. Thank you so much. Barakallahu fiki.
My question is that I have a proposal for my daughter, and this boy, he studied medicine from Pakistan, and after doing his, and now then he did his residency in USA, and he's doing his fellowship there, and he is living with his family in USA. So we don't know them directly, but his mother told me that when he was studying medicine in Pakistan, he joined the Tablighi Jamaat in his college. Then he came to America, and now he does not go anywhere because he is very busy with his work. So now what I am concerned about is that I am not familiar with the aqaid of this Jamaat. And I am afraid if this Jamaat has any aqidah not acceptable in our religion or any shirk or bid'ah. I am really worried about it because we are careful about these things.
No.
And I don't want my daughter to be influenced by any wrong aqidah.
Did you guys meet with him?
We will go and meet this boy and his family after 1 or 2 months. We are living in Saudi Arabia, and then we will go to America inshallah in November. But before this, I want to make this thing clear that whether we should go to meet them or not.
Okay, barakallahu fiki. Thank you, Sister Abdullah. Brother Isa from Ghana. Isa, assalamu alaikum. Brother Isa, do me a favor, unmute your TV, please.
Okay. Sheikh,
Nah, go ahead, please.
I have one question, please.
Yeah?
My question is it permissible to Quran, the whole Quran for you, in case you need any request from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala?
Isa, unfortunately, your voice is breaking up. I didn't get the question.
Yeah, so is it permissible to organize people to recite the whole Quran for you in case you need any request from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala?
Is it permissible to organize what? To recite the whole Quran?
People to recite the whole Quran. Now,
I guess I got your question. Okay, like having a group of people, giving each one assignment, and by that we do the completion of the recitation of the Quran in one sitting or so. Okay, I got your question. Thank you. Barakallah. Wa jazakum. Barakallah feek. Sister Abdullah from the KSA, Allah, I truly appreciate, number one, your compliments and your dua. And number two, entrusting us with this very, very important and significant question. You know, brothers and sisters, finding the right life mate and the right suitor for your son or daughter isn't an easy job. And it is quite important. Number one, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said in the hadith, إِذَا جَاءَكُم مَّن تَرْضَوْنَ دِينَهُ وَأَمَانَتَهُ فَزَوِّجُوهُ إِلَّا تَفْعَلُوا تَكُنْ فِتْنَةٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَفَسَادٌ عَرِيضٌ. So we're confronted with the fact that the Prophet ﷺ said, if somebody whom you trust his faith his belief, his religious commitment, and his amana. The religious commitment is the relationship between the servant and his Lord. He prays regularly? Yes, he does. He prays in jama'ah? Perfect. He fasts not only during Ramadan, but he also fasts, voluntary fasting? Great. Then we need to check on his akhlaq and his dealings with others. It isn't sufficient to see somebody is masjid going back and forth, but also would like to see his akhlaq, dealing with others and so on, and whether his ibadah reflected on his manners positively or not. So if both are perfect, or at least okay, that he is fulfilling the requirement of the religious commitment, and he is well-mannered, then such person is worthy of giving him your daughter in marriage. Obviously, if he can support a family, right? He doesn't have to be rich, but at least he is capable or willing to support a family. If we don't do that, then that would lead to a mischief and corruption on earth. So the religious commitment, as you said, it is very important to see whether the person has a right aqidah or not, right belief or not. Now, that is taken us to another thing, which is the brothers of the Tablighi Jama'ah, and I answered this question so many times, and I said I envy them, and I respect them for all the hard work they do, and for their sincerity. And I always advise, since I was in the States or in Europe or anywhere I go, that brothers, mashallah, the work you're doing is magnificent. You just need to eliminate a few things to make sure that your work is in line with the Sunnah. There is no such thing that mandates that you have to do khuruj certain number of days every month or every year or per lifetime. And we don't have to adhere to a particular book and try to avoid the weak and the fabricated references. Why? The Sunnah is very rich with sound ahadith. And we have, mashallah, thousands of virtuous ahadith with regards to do's and do not do's, etc. So we should rely on that. By doing so and only allowing the qualified dua to speak, not every person, because he joined us, he should stand up and give bayan and give the teachings. We will be great. You will be fulfilling the mission of the Prophet ﷺ, which is conveying the message to people. So, not because somebody is going for khuruj, we say that his aqidah is corrupt, God forbid. No. And that's why we require further investigation. Further investigation. Because the Nabi ﷺ talked about two qualities. Deenahu wa amanatahu. Religious commitment and his akhlaq, which is presented in one khuluq, one manner, which is honesty, trustworthiness. So I believe it is perfectly okay to go ahead and visit the family and chit-chat with them. And if you have family members or friends whom you can investigate or find out further more about the family, not only the son, it is very important to understand that when you give your daughter in marriage to somebody, you're actually shopping for the whole family, not only the groom. And also with the istikhara, you do istikhara and your daughter should do istikhara as well, and asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to guide you to what's best. Insha'Allah, I'm very certain Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant your daughter the best husband and will make her life happy. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Farzana from India. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, Sheikh. How are you, Sheikh?
Alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking.
Sheikh, I have got 3 questions to be asked. Hello?
Yeah, Sister Farzana, I could hear you. Go ahead, please.
Okay. My first question is with regards to certain mistakes while reading for Salah, mistakes like missing one sujood or ruku or missing one rakah, how to correct Salah mistake?
Okay.
And my second question is, what is the important dhikr after the Fajr Salah?
Okay.
Okay, and my third question is, hello?
Go ahead, Sister Farzana, I hear you.
Okay, my third question is, there are certain people who believe that their names carry some sort of curse with it. Hence, such people are found to even change their names.
Okay.
What is the Sharia logic for such people?
Okay, the third question, that some people believe their names carry what?
The names carry some sort of curse in their name.
Sort of curse. Like what? Give me an example.
Yeah, like, maybe example, if a person's name is like Hafiza, and they will say, no, this name is not good because of this name, the things got too much spoiled, somebody got sick, her father was sick or this. So they even change the name.
Okay, barakallah
What is
feek.
the Sharia logic for such belief?
Okay.
Hello?
Okay, I got it. All right, thank you, Sister Farzana from India. Sister Aisha is next on the line from the KSA. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah, barakallahu feeki.
I come across a hadith saying about if the Prophet ﷺ, when he pray the two sunnahs before Fajr, he used to lie down and rest before praying Fajr.
Mm-hmm.
That's my first question.
Okay.
And the second question is it exchanging money is a halal transaction on it? Exchanging money.
What is a halal transaction? What transaction is it?
Exchanging money.
I'm sorry, I didn't get it.
You get it?
No, I'm sorry.
My third question is...
no, Sister Aisha, the second question, what kind of transaction is it?
For example, I'm having a riyal and you are having a dinar.
Money exchange. Yeah, money exchange.
Yes, money exchange. Yes.
Okay.
Is that a halal job or not?
Okay.
And the third question is, I heard someone is saying our father Adam is, the Prophet ﷺ is created before our father Adam. Is it that true or not? And they are saying that Muhammad, the Prophet ﷺ is created from the light of God.
All right, thank you. Barakallah feeki, Sister Aisha. Thank you so much. Assalamu alaikum. Brother Abu Abdurrahim from the KSA. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I have one question regarding inheritance.
Now,
how severe is the sin to give fewer shares of property or money, especially to sisters? And what are the punishments? Where Allah stated in Surah Al-Nisa about these shares. I wanted to know exactly what are the punishments. Normally, in our culture, we give very less shares to sisters. Please explain on this.
all right. Thank you, Brother Abu Abdurrahim from the KSA. Okay, Brother Isa from Ghana. The format of Khatmul Quran that you mentioned isn't actually Khatmul Quran. Khatmul Quran is to recite the Quran from beginning to end. One individual would begin from Surah Al-Fatiha and will end up with Surah Al-Nas. Whether he manages to do that in a few days or in a whole month, okay, that's called Khatmul Quran. It shouldn't be done in less than 3 days for each individual in order to comprehend what you're reciting. The other format which you're talking about, that passing one para upon each individual, so let's say for example we have 30 people, each one would recite one para in one sitting, then we call it Khatmul Quran. That's not Khatmul Quran. Basically for me, I recited my one para or one juz, and each person recited his or her juz, and that's it. That's not Khatmul Quran. It doesn't have any significance as far as the congregation would benefit of Khatmul Quran. Then it becomes even complicated if we tend to do that for certain occasions, like the death or the birth or celebrations or whatever, because this is a practice that is innovated. Each person is required to recite the Quran and to recite it awfully. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَرَتِّلِ الْقُرْآنَ تَرْتِيلًا. And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said in the sound hadith, اقرأوا القرآن فإنه يأتي يوم القيامة شفيعا لأصحابه. These references from the Quran and the Sunnah are encouraging Muslims to recite the Quran as much as he can, because it shall intercede for those who recite it on the Day of Judgment. Great. So those who count that whenever they get in a gathering and every person is reciting a certain part of the Quran as a khatm, that is not actually khatm. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Asiya from the KSA.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How are you and your family?
We're just fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking, Sister Asiya.
And how is Brother Malik and his family?
Alhamdulillah, everybody's fine. Alhamdulillah, everybody on board is fine. Alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking.
Yes, I have 3 questions.
Yeah.
Question number 1, do the names have effect on the person? Question number 2, I teach very small children, that means kindergarten children, and they like to they like to clap for each and every occasion when they are happy. Is this allowed? And question number 3, Prophet, there's somebody was saying this hadith. I just want to confirm whether it is right or wrong. When Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to pray in the night and make dua, the sound of like the sound used to come like as if the sound of something cooking in the vessel. Is it correct? Jazakallah khair.
Yeah. Wa jazakum, Sister Asiya. Thank you so much. Now, Sister Farzana, what one should do upon forgetting or making mistakes or errors in the fard prayer, in the fard or in the nafli prayer? It's general, in any namaz. The answer is, it depends. It all depends. What did you forget? What error did you do? And whether it was done deliberately or out of forgetfulness. So any mistake which was done out of forgetfulness may be corrected and made up by what is known as sujood al-sahw, the prostrations of forgetfulness. 2 prostrations by the end of the prayer. But is every forgetfulness can every forgetfulness be corrected simply by sujood al-sahw? And the prayer consists of pillars, wajibat, and sunan. As far as the pillars, if somebody forgot one of the pillars of the prayer, in order to fix the error, you have to make up the pillar. The pillar has to be fulfilled. Let me give you an example. Somebody prayed and he forgot one sajda. This is an example that you gave. Somebody forgot one sajda. Standing in the prayer is a pillar. Recitation of Surah Al-Fatiha is a pillar. The recitation of the surah after is a sunnah. Okay. Ruku' is a pillar. Sujood is a pillar. Sitting between the 2 prostrations is a pillar. So if somebody forgot one of these pillars, the whole rak'ah will be invalid. If the person moved into the next rak'ah and he forgot about it entirely. So in this case, after the prayer he remembered, or he was reminded, hey, you forgot one sajda. He has to make up a whole rak'ah, then afterward pray 2 sajdas. That all was discussed in a program which you will find on YouTube, which is called The Prophet's Prayer. And you will find it also on our website. You will find the link, The Prophet's Prayer. How to make up and correct any errors which a person may make in the prayer, whether it's a fard or nafl. There are some things which the person would not be required to make up. For instance, the middle sujood, the middle tashahhud, which we have in all the 4 rak'ah prayers, and also in Maghrib, 3 rak'ahs. This middle tashahhud, if the person forgot, he doesn't have to make it up. Rather, it would be sufficient to make sujood al-sahw by the end of the prayer, with detailed explanation, whether should you do it before the taslim or after the taslim, but obviously after reciting the Durood Sharif or at tashahhud. These are very simple things you can be aware of and you can comprehend in an hour period of time. Unfortunately, many people who have been living for decades in Islam. They simply, if they make an error in the prayer, they put a scratch on it and they say, I will start over. That's not necessarily true. As a matter of fact, it is false. Simply, you can correct the errors in the prayer, as I mentioned earlier. If it is a pillar or a rukn or a fard, you make it up in addition to sujood al-sahw. If it is something which is a sunnah, then it will be sufficient to pray sujood al-sahwi by the end of the prayer without having to make up that sunnah. Barakallah fikum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Lidan from the KSA.
Yes.
Go ahead, brother.
I have 3 questions, Sheikh.
Yeah?
The first question is, when you're doing the major ghusl, does it have to be according to the sunnah? And the second question is, my friend, I was trying to advise him to become more religious, and he asked me a question: why does Allah need angels, basically? Okay, and actually that's all.
All right, thank you. Now, Farzana, second question, the adhkar after Fajr prayer. The same adhkar which we recite after every fard prayer, in addition to some extra beautiful adhkar, such as saying 10 times after the Fajr prayer, and even before the regular adhkar of saying Subhanallah 33 times, Alhamdulillah likewise, and Allahu Akbar likewise, and reciting Ayat al-Kursi, and saying Allahumma a'inni ala dhikrika wa shukrika wa husni ibadatik, and also saying اللهم لا معطي لما منعت ولا مانع لما أعطيت ولا ينفع ذا الجد منك الجد or اللهم لا مانع لما أعطيت ولا معطي لما منعت ولا ينفع ذا الجد منك الجد. These adhkar which are regular in every prayer, reciting the 3 mu'awwidhat 3 times, 3 sets of قل هو الله أحد, قل أعوذ برب الفلق, and قل أعوذ برب الناس. Before that, there is a very important dhikr, which is to say لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو على كل شيء قدير 10 times. It has great virtues to be recited after Fajr and after Maghrib prayer, in the beginning of the day and by the end of the day. And also to say Allahumma ajirni min al-nar 7 times. O Allah, protect me or save me against the fire of hell 7 times. The same will be recited after Maghrib, but in addition to Allahumma inni as'aluka al-jannah 7 times as well, which means, O Allah, I ask you for paradise. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us all eligible to enter paradise and save us against the fire of hell. We'll take a short break and we'll be back inshallah in a couple of minutes. Please stay tuned.
The words of Allah, the Quran, sent to us by the Almighty, so we can hear and obey.
We cannot live our life without the Holy Quran. You must listen carefully to the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because your safety and my safety will be with this great verses of the Holy Quran. We are here in this world for a test, and this test, and you will have questions in the Day of Judgment.
Life is a journey, beginning with a single step. The direction is clear.
To you I pray, bow down, prostrate.
but it still needs guidance.
Worthy of praise, I stand before you with an attentive heart. Erase my sins from the present and past.
Huda GPS.
صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى الله على محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم صلى الله عليه وسلم.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله.
I bear witness that none has the right to be worshipped except Allah, alone without partner, and I bear witness that Muhammad is his slave and messenger. Muhammad, peace be upon him, our ultimate role model.
In a cave in Mount Hira, the revelation came. Read, O Muhammad, read in Allah's name. May the blessings of Allah be on Al-Mustafa. None besides him could have been Al-Mujtaba. Muhammad, peace be upon his soul.
How wonderful is the affair of the believer, for all his affairs are good. If harm befalls him, he is patient, and that is good for him. And if something good happens to him, he is grateful, and that is good for him. And that is not for anyone except the believer.
Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar. Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar. Subhanallah, walhamdulillah, wa la ilaha illallah, wallahu akbar.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. Brother Abbas from Nigeria is on the line. Assalamu alaikum, Abbas.
Alaikum assalam.
How are you, brother?
Fine, Ya Sheikh.
Go ahead.
Ya Sheikh, I have a question.
Yeah.
I have a sick mother. For 2 years, she has not done her Ramadan fasting. So, Ya Sheikh, I just want to know whether she should do the sadaqah or when she gets well, she should pay back, please.
How old is she?
And I want you to help my mother with prayer so that she will get well.
Abbas, can you hear me?
We don't know the sickness. She's just lying down always like she have a serious headache. Please, I want you to help me with prayer.
Okay. Barakallahu feek. It seems like you can hear, but inshallah I got your question.
Thank you.
Okay. Brother Muhammad is from Iran. Assalamu alaikum, Muhammad.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Which part of Iran are you calling from?
Hello?
Can you hear me, Muhammad?
I can hear now.
Which part of Iran you're calling from?
Sheikh, it's difficult here.
Okay, go ahead and say your question, please.
My question is that photography and videography, is it allowed in Islam? What's the ruling on that, photography and videography?
Okay.
Jazakallah.
Thank you, Muhammad. Barakallah feek, Brother Muhammad from Iran. Sister Farzana, third question. And I believe also Sister Asia had a relating question, which was her first question. Names. And with regards to bad omens, with regards to names, certain names. And Sister Asia said, do really names affect the person or have an effect on the person? Yes, indeed. Names do have an effect on the person. Actually, they shape the future and the lifestyle of the person. That's why Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam cared a lot about names. Not just the names of individual and the children, boys and girls, but also the names of objects, even the cities. You know, Al-Madinah, its name before Al-Madinah Al-Munawwara or Taiba or Taba, the city of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, before the immigration was known as Yathrib. And Yathrib, that name was taken from At-Tathrib. Read, if you wish, in Surah Yusuf. لا تثريب عليكم اليوم. So At-Tathrib is the blame or the sin, the fault. So that was the name of Yathrib. So Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, no, it shouldn't be called Yathrib. And whoever calls it Yathrib afterward, he has committed a sin, let him seek forgiveness. So what's the name of the city? He said rather it is Taiba wa Taba, the home of Iman, the home of peace, Darul Iman, Darul Salam, etc. The city of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sa'id ibn al-Musayyib, may Allah be pleased with him, is one of the great tabi'een. He was known as the Sayyid, the master of tabi'een, the second generation of this ummah. Those who have seen the companions and did not have a chance to see the Prophet ﷺ or meet him. Sa'id ibn al-Musayyib said, his grandfather, whose name was Hazan, has entered upon the Prophet ﷺ. He said, what's your name? He said, my name is Hazan. He said, no, your name should not be Hazan. Hazan, what does the word Hazan mean? Hazan means harsh, hard, tough. He said, rather your name should be Sahl, easy, easy going. He said, I'm not going to change a name that my father named me. So he said, okay. So Sa'id ibn al-Musayyib, may Allah be pleased with him, said, فَمَا زَالَتْ تِلْكَ الْحُزُونَةُ فِينَا. We still maintain this hardship because of the name. So names do have an effect. That's why it is not permissible to name the boys these kind of soft names which are perfectly fine to be given to girls. A boy should be raised as a mujahid. Yes, of course, as a mujahid. Not as a girl, or not like a boy who is imitating a girl. The name would reflect on the individual. Similarly, the girls, we should not give them tough names. No names of people who are very famous of their prostitution. of their evil doing, they are either singers or musicians or whatever. So you cannot choose a name for your daughter after a singer or a dancer or whatever. Choose a name, and the names are plenty, mashallah. Some of the names which we receive, Hajara, and this is a name of a girl. That's not right. Hajara. Who wants to marry a Hajara? Hajara means a stone or a rock. And unfortunately, some of the names which come in writing should be immediately changed. Bintu Zina, for instance. The word Zina means adultery. So when you say the daughter of Zina, this is a legitimate born, a child who was born out of a legitimate relationship, an illicit relationship. It isn't sufficient, as some people do, and it is very common in the Indo-Pak society. They open the Quran. And once a child is born, they open the Quran. They see the name, any word that they like, that's it. This is the name which Allah chose for me. No, Allah didn't choose that name for you. You chose it. It is wrong, but you chose it. You remember when we have a name of Lava. 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 How could you call your girl Lava? So what's Lava to begin with? Lava is a blazing fire, one of the names of fire of hell. He just opened the Quran, he liked it, boom, he gave his daughter that name. No. Nowadays, it is very simple to search the name or pick up the phone and call somebody who knows Arabic or knows names, or I'm very sure in every community there is a local imam whom you can consult. Is this name okay? Because names do reflect on those who have been named after these names. When I named my son Mu'adh, one of my children's name is Mu'adh, I always imagined Mu'adh ibn Jabal, may Allah be pleased with him. I was visiting a friend of mine, and this friend of mine, mashallah, may Allah bless him, is a multi-billionaire. It doesn't mean that I'm rich as well, but he's a very kind person. So anyway, I saw one of his sons, and he said, mashallah, he finished the Quran, and he's leading the prayer in Ramadan, in one of the masajid, when I inquired about him. So what is the name? He said Mu'adh. I remembered that was the name of Mu'adh ibn Jabal, who is known as the mountain of knowledge. So my wife was pregnant at this time. I said, that's it. If it is a boy, it must be Mu'adh. After Mu'adh ibn Jabal, especially when you've seen his child, who's mashallah achieved the memorization of Quran, etc. So when the son grows up, or when the daughter, you know, you're named after Safiya. Who's Safiya? Safiya, the mother of the believers. And you start narrating stories of Safiya, and also Safiya, the Prophet's aunt, and her courage, and so on. So that would definitely reflect on the person. I know that many people have named their sons Bush and George Bush. Okay, you will get what you named. You will get what you're looking for. The names of the companions are so beautiful. There are so many beautiful names, brothers and sisters, whether for boys or girls. And it is also the sunnah that when the child grows up and now he's independent, if his name or his family's name is a shameful name, or a name that refers to disbelief, or a name that refers to worshiping other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or a name that refers to an illicit meaning, right away they should change their names, as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did with many of the companions. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Nisar from the KSA, assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. How are you?
Ahlan wa sahlan, Nisar. Alhamdulillah, I'm fine.
We love you, Sheikh, for the sake of Allah and all the Huda team here.
أحبك الذي أحببتنا فيه. May Allah bless you and your family. We all love you too. Barakallah fikum.
And this is Huda, who is helping us get the right knowledge in the right direction in every day in Ramadan, and now it is continuing to help non-Arabic speakers to get the correct Arabic, to get the correct religious knowledge.
Barakallah fiqh, Nassar. Before I take your question, I just want to share with you guys something that right before the program, since Brother Nassar, out of the blue, he just made this remark, I was speaking to a very dear colleague and friend of ours, one of the brothers who present one of the programs, and he's coming from America as well with his family, as I did with my family. And we agreed to one thing: had it not been Huda, I wouldn't stay here for one single hour, not one single day. And he said the same thing, that he said, what? It's in my mind that it's only because of Huda, because of this work. We're bearing whatever we have to bear. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to support us. This is the kind of job which, it's not a job, that we enjoy what we're doing, we love it, and we love to hear from you, your feedback, even if it is an objection or a correction. We're human beings. But alhamdulillah, so far the feedback we get. This channel, mashallah, is a true minaret. Through this channel, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed many families. Literally hundreds of thousands of people and families have changed to the better. I hope we too, as presenters on this beautiful screen, and also the sponsors and those who are behind the scene, behind the cameras, or every person who's working in Huda would also benefit out of that, so that inshallah all of us will take each other's hands and enter paradise. Allahumma ameen. Go ahead, Brother Nassar. Nassar, assalamu alaikum. Okay, go ahead.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, I have a question regarding fasting on the day of Arafah.
Nah.
I'm in Saudi Arabia for the last couple of years, and alhamdulillah, I was fasting on 8th or 9th of Zulhijjah,
Nah.
if I am not in Arafah. So this year I'm planning to go to my home country. So what should be our fasting day? It should be as same as Yom Arafah of Makkah, or it should be as that calendar, because it is 1 day or 2 days prior to this calendar.
You know what's very interesting is you're saying it even before citing the moon of Dhul Hijjah. Why? Because it's like a tradition. This is a political agenda. We must be different than those countries. This is deen. And deen has nothing to do with Saudi Arabia only, or with your country, or with Egypt, or whatever. And I'm not really repeating what some people say without reference. No, we have seen, whenever some countries, before the Arab Spring, for instance, because they are in conflict with the Saudis, so they must have Ramadan different, and the Eid different. They play games with our religious duties. And whenever they are okay, and they're funding each other and supporting each other, well, we go with the flow. Whatever these guys say, we begin like them, and we have Eid like them. What a shame. This is deen. Leave the deen alone. They keep saying that, do not intervene deen in politics. Okay, would you please do what you preach? Would you please leave the deen alone? Akhi, if in your country they sight the moon, and if it is seen that a day before it was sighted, or a day after it was sighted in Saudi, and accordingly Arafah is on a different day. Arafah is on the 9th day of the month of Dhul Hijjah. If it is on a different day due to the legitimate moon citation, then right away follow what you have seen, or what those whom you trust have seen. I don't care about which date happened to be the day of Arafah anywhere else. What if it is not cited at all and nobody made any effort? Then I would fast according to Arafah. This is where millions of people are performing Hajj. And we can play games with the day of Arafah, because the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Al-Hajju Arafah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Sarah from France.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I'm going to ask you a question about a situation where a girl thinks that the sitar is recommended, and for the moment she wears the hijab and wants to wear the sitar, but her parents, who are Muslims, don't want her to wear it, because they think that the sitar is something which doesn't belong to the religion. And mostly they fear for her and her future when she'll... no.
I guess I got your question, Sister Sarah. Okay, Jazakillah khairan. Do you have another question?
And when she will be able to work and so on. And after discussing this problem with her parents, in order to convince her parents, they forbid her the sitar. And I want to know if it's a good reason for doing this,
Are the parents right to forbid the girl to wear the sitar? And I want the advice of the four schools. Barakallahu fik.
Wafiq, obviously this is Sarah's sister or another person who resumed presenting the question. Okay, but I got the question. Thank you, Sister Sarah. Sister Lubna from the KSA. Sister Lubna, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Go ahead.
Sheikh, I have one question.
No.
Is it okay to write a fictional story that involves characters that are wicked or involves them doing wicked acts such as killing, etc., if I'm teaching a moral lesson? That's the only question I have. Jazakallahu khairan.
Wajazakum. It is permissible to do that because the goal, as you said, you're teaching a moral lesson and you want to present something in the form of a story, of a fiction story, so this is permissible, okay? Provided you have to alert either the readers or the audience, this is a fiction story, okay? Barakallahu fiki. Thank you. MashaAllah, many pending questions. Sister Aisha from the KSA, she said that, is there a hadith that talks about that the Prophet ﷺ used to sleep or lie down after praying the Sunnah of Fajr? Yes, of course. Al-Imam al-Bukhari collected in his sound series a hadith which is narrated by the mother of the believers, Aisha radiyallahu anha, that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to pray the Sunnah of Fajr after the Mu'adhin, soon after the Mu'adhin would finish the Adhan, because he would call the Adhan on time. Then, after praying the Sunnah, he would اضطجع على شقه الأيمن, or يضطجع, which means he used to recline or lie down on his right hand side. This ضجعة, or this reclining, is not a complete sleep, or otherwise it would require him to make wudu, because if a person falls in a deep sleep, whether he broke wind or void his wudu or not, they must make wudu, because deep sleep automatically voids the wudu. But the Prophet ﷺ would rest. Also, it has been collected by Imam Muslim in another hadith. The ulama concluded from that those who prayed the Sunnah at home are recommended to recline for a few moments after the Sunnah and until you hear the Iqamah or until you pray in the masjid. But what is the purpose and what is the cause, the effective cause? Why the Prophet ﷺ used to do this ضجعة? He used to do that because he used to rest from a long night's sleep. So knowing the effective cause would give you an explanation of why should you do it. But if the person was not in need to rest or recline, that's it. Also, we should not do that in the masjid where you enter the masjid after the adhan and people just woke up. And you see people prayed the Sunnah and everybody is reclining or lying down. It is a short rest after a long night of prayer, after praying the Sunnah, with the condition that the person is fully alert, not asleep. Barakallahu feek. As far as money exchange, it is permissible with conditions. It is permissible to do the currency exchange for whatever price you guys agree to, ijab and qabul, both the seller and the buyer, with the following conditions. Number one, yadan biyad, in the same sitting. Yadan biyad, which means since this is money and this is money, it should be exchanged in the same sitting. You take the dinar and you give me the dollar, or the riyal and the dollar, and in the same sitting, because the delay, that is the type of riba which is known as riba an-nasa. There is a delay. Okay? Did Allah create Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam before Adam? There is no such thing. There is no reference whatsoever, unless if you're reading in the yellow pages. That's a different issue. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created Adam alayhi salam first by his own hands. And when he gave the resemblance in Surah Al-Imran, read if you wish, إن مثل عيسى عند الله كمثل آدم خلقه من تراب ثم قال له كن فيكون. So he gave the resemblance of Isa to Adam, to Abu al-Bashar, the father of all human beings. In the hadith which is stated by the Prophet ﷺ. Hadith al-Shafa'a, the long hadith, that when people will rise up and they will be in a very frightening situation in a day which will be its length 50,000 years, the day of resurrection, the Prophet ﷺ said people will go to Adam. Why? Because he's Abul Bashar. Ya Adam, Anta Abul Bashar. خلقك الله بيديه. You are the father of humanity. The father of humanity means what? He's the very first human being. And from him he created Adam. These false theories that Adam was created, and when he created he saw Muhammad or saw the nur of Muhammad, and Adam is created actually from the nur of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that's a different religion. This is not Islam. And you will find people out of extreme love, they fabricate things, and in front of every fabrication or innovation, you find people abandoning Sunnah or distancing themselves from the right belief. The same people who exaggerate and cross all the boundaries with regards to the right belief concerning Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you find them have corrupt aqeedah. You find them that they believe that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is still alive. He doesn't die. And he is not just still alive, they believe, according to their false belief, that whenever he can appear anywhere, every time somebody says his name, the Prophet ﷺ would rise up and will be with them. So they came with the theory way before cloning. So if somebody is mentioning his name in Pakistan, another in America, the Prophet ﷺ will be everywhere. This is entirely false. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said about the Prophet ﷺ, إِنَّكَ مَيِّتٌ وَإِنَّهُمْ مَيِّتُونَ. Certainly you will die, and your opponents too will die. We went over time. We'll talk about this inshallah in the beginning of the next episode, along with answering these pending questions. Forgive me for not answering all the questions. We ran out of time. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance and in your deen